Hey, it's Alicia here, and in this video I want to share with you something that you can do that will actually change your life. So if you remember nothing else that I tell you, if you remember nothing else that you read about or you learn about to change your life, just remember this and it will create a quantum shift for you. And that is presence. There is really nothing more important than you presencing your body and bringing your energy back to the present moment, the right here, the right now. And the reason for this is because where your attention goes, your energy flows. So if your attention is in the past or the future, you don't have that energy with you right here, right now to create something different in your life. So if it's in the past and all these familiar things, your subconscious is running on autopilot, or if it's in the future, thinking about the things that you have to do today, planning your day out, the things you have to do next week, or where you want your life to go, somewhere in the future. Well, the future and the past don't actually exist. The only thing that exists is the present moment, right here, right now. So the only way to actually make a change in your life is in the present moment. And a lot of people might think that, well, if they want to create a change in their life, then they're gonna have to take action. Of course, they think that is the only possible way to make a change in their life, but that actually doesn't create a real change or a real quantum shift. Everything will be temporary. If you were to get a new job and maybe you feel a little bit better in the moment, it's going to be temporary relief because if it didn't come from an inspired state, that's the most important thing. Because if you try to take action in the same state that you're currently in, it doesn't make an actual difference because there hasn't been a quantum shift, a shift in consciousness, dissolving of the energy state that you're in. Neural pathways have not been created, new neural pathways haven't been created. However you want to think about it, there hasn't actually been a real shift if you take action in the same state that you're currently in. That doesn't mean that you never take action, but it means you take inspired action. And so instead of taking action when you don't know maybe whether it's inspired or not, the thing that's going to create the most for you in an actual shift in your life is more presence. Taking more pauses throughout the day to presence what you're feeling. And presence is different than focus. Focus is like, let's say you're trying to focus on your breath, focus on a certain sensation, something that you're hearing. Those are really great forms of like meditation, but presence is something different because presence doesn't require just one sense, like your smell or your sound or your sight. It's a full body presence. It's all your senses. It's more than just your senses and your physical body experience. It's just presencing what you're feeling in the present moment with no resistance to what is, to allow energies to dissolve and to bring your energy right here in the present moment, which is the only place you can actually make a change in your life. So I see people all the time trying to make changes in their life by changing things on the outside rather than changing things on the inside. But the only thing that's going to create an actual change in your life is changing things on the inside, changing your inner state. You can think of it as changing your inner state, changing your state of consciousness, changing the frequency you're giving off, creating new neural pathways, however you want to think about it, but it requires a change in something inside, not a change on something outside if you actually want to see a real shift. And there's lots of reasons for this. It's because, we have neural pathways that we've created our whole life through the process of synaptic pruning, which pretty much means neurons that fire together, wire together, and it follows the use it or lose it. So the things that you're constantly doing, especially as a child, you've created a neural pathway which has become like a habit now, which is why you can drive to your home without even thinking about it and things like that. It's because you've created that neural pathway. And it's really our subconscious that is running the show most of the time, creating things on autopilot. So that's why you're just going to keep seeing the same things in your life if you don't change something internally. You're still, the same neural pathways are running on autopilot. You're still in the same energy state. You're still giving off the same frequency. We are primarily electromagnetic. So what you see in your life is a reflection of the electromagnetic signal that you're giving off, which you can actually measure through devices like GRV devices and Sputnik antennas and things like that. Like this is actually detectable about 6 to 10 feet outside your body. And depending on that electromagnetic signal you're giving off, that's going to be a reflection of what you receive back. So that's why taking action in the same state you're in isn't the thing that's going to create the most for you. More presence in changing your internal state is going to be the thing that creates the most for you. And you can think about it like, if you are not in the present moment and your energy is in the past or your energy is in the future, your energy is just running on autopilot with the way things have always been, or you're thinking about the future and the things you have to do in the future, your predictable future, then everything is known. You know what happened in the past, you know what you're going to do in the future, so how can something unknown be created in that state? So to really allow something unknown and something different to show up would require more presence, being in the present moment. And if this doesn't make sense to you, if you don't understand what I mean about creating neural pathways or your state of consciousness or the electromagnetic signal you're giving off, but none of that makes any sense to you, that's totally okay. The mind does not need to understand this. You can think about it like, how can you make the space for something new to come into your life if you keep doing the same things over and over again? You're not even allowing the space for something new to come in, especially if you're constantly on the go and you constantly feel like you need to be taking action. Well, where is the space for something new to come in? You're not creating the space for something new to come in when your energy is focused on the outer, the past, or the future. So you've got to bring your attention back to the only moment that exists, which is right now. That's the only way to create a quantum shift. You may think that taking action is going to be the thing that creates the most, but it really isn't. Like if you, are in, let's use the job example again, a job that you don't like, and you feel like, okay, well, then the only thing that's going to create an actual change in my life is to find another job. So you go and you find another job, but maybe those same feelings of unworthiness or not being good enough are going to catch up with you in this new job again. Especially if you didn't actually dissolve them. You can go and you can apply for a million other jobs to try to outrun your feeling of inadequacy, but it's always going to be there. Even if you don't have a job, even if you start your own business, those energies are still going to be there. Those energies of unworthiness, I'm not enough, I'm not good enough, those feelings of inadequacy, you didn't actually dissolve them. So they're just going to keep running on autopilot, and you're not going to see an actual shift in your life. Same thing about if you want a relationship. I see so many people thinking that once they're in a relationship, then they'll be happy. And maybe at first you'll feel that temporary relief, joy, excitement, but any of those feelings that were causing you to feel the need to have a relationship in the first place, they didn't go away. Maybe they were feelings of unworthiness, and therefore you needed the relationship to feel good enough. Well, now there's going to be things showing up in that relationship that are going to bring up those energies. You're still going to feel unworthy. Maybe it's going to bring up some jealousy and things like that, and especially when you're in a relationship, because your partner is going to be a mirror reflection of you. So they're going to trigger you like no tomorrow, and they're going to bring everything to the surface. So you're not going to see a real shift in your life if you keep trying to change things on the outside. It's going to catch up with you. At least that's the good news about all of this, is that life is going to keep trying to invite you. It's going to make you uncomfortable so that you listen and you get the message. So I hope that explains why the most important thing is to be in the present moment and to change your internal state. So now a way that you can actually start doing that, I would recommend, is minimum taking pauses throughout the day. So you could take 3 pauses throughout the day, right when you wake up in the morning, right before you go to bed, and maybe you could set an alarm in your phone to do it once throughout the day. Or you can just plan, I'm going to do it, every day after lunch, or maybe every time I go to the bathroom, take a little bit of a pause, presence my body, what am I feeling, take some slow, deep breaths. And if you think that you don't have the time for this, well, then you're never going to have the time for it, because life is a reflection of you. So if you're not presencing yourself, if you're not giving yourself the attention and the time for yourself, then that isn't going to show up for you, because your cells are listening to everything that you're saying. So if you think you have no time, more than ever, you need to take some pauses for yourself. Maybe you feel like you don't have the time to sit an hour a day to presence yourself. So at least take pauses throughout the day, maybe minimum 3 pauses throughout the day, morning, evening, and set an alarm for 1 more time on your phone in the middle of the day. and it really should be your first priority. My mentor says that it's her first, second, and third priority, that there is really nothing more important than presencing what she's feeling. That's what's going to create the most for her and everyone around her, her family, her clients, her business, her relationship, her money. And you know what? It's 100% true. So she actually will set an hour a day now aside just to presence her body. She'll schedule it in to make sure that it happens. And if you feel like you don't have an hour a day, you can start with 5 minutes a day. That's what I do, 5 minutes a day just to sit with my emotions, just to presence what's coming up for me. And also in the morning, in the evening, and I have an alarm set in my phone to do it another time throughout the day. And if you're super busy, just like little pauses, maybe when you go to the bathroom throughout the day, take that time to just presence what you're feeling, tune into your body, and bring your energy back to the present moment, which is the only place that you can invite in something different. So I hope you found this video helpful. If you did, give it a thumbs up, hit subscribe, and hit the bell button if you want to be notified the next time I upload a video. So thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.